Oh my gosh, there's already people in the chat? Oh,
There
that's
are a
so
couple.
Scary.
Hey everybody,
Alright.
we're starting up the stream, so let us know if you can hear us and see us and all that. I think it's good.
Yeah.
YouTube looks like it's saying that we're live, so hopefully we are.
Cool, yeah. Make sure, tell us if our volume on the game is like way too loud or way too quiet or vice versa. Any of that stuff, and we'll get it fixed. And thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks for being here. This is developer live stream number 7. Hard to believe that, but when you're working on a game for over 4 years, I guess you rack up the dev live streams pretty quick. So what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be playing another hour of Cattails Wildwood Story. This is like, this build is pretty close to the release candidate. I mean, this is basically what's going to be available on launch day. So we're super excited about that because the game is more or less complete. There's just a few last things we're doing before, October 20th. So we're going to be playing that for about an hour. We'll be answering your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat and I'll try to get around to them while Becca plays the game over here.
It's really hard to stream this game sometimes because it's such a deep game. There's so much game content and everything that there's just a lot I want to show everybody, and hopefully we will get to more of it today than last time. My goals for this, also I'll let you know if you notice wow, she's not really great at this game. I'm used to playing it with the keyboard, and Tyler was adamant that I do the controller because his keyboard is so loud.
Yeah, we got the mic set up right behind the keyboard here, so if you use the keyboard, which is a mechanical keyboard by the way, which makes it extra noisy.
So clickety.
Terrible, absolutely terrible. You wouldn't be able to hear our beautiful voices.
Yeah, so I'm playing it has full controller support is the good news. I'm just not used to playing it on controller. But my goals for this playthrough is I want to do more of the, what do we call this system? The taking over the map
system.
Influence. That's what I was looking for. The influence.
Which the Wildwood Wednesday video this week was half about the influence.
See, I thought about that. I planned, that was strategic.
Wow,
I
it's
was
tied in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, we think through those things. So the plan is to try to take over some of this map area. There are 2 battles going on today, so we're going to participate in those. The other thing that I want to do is befriend Ellie, so that way when we go participate in those battles and all of that, we can at least have a friend come over. We got some mail in the chat.
It is 5 a.m., so I don't think you're going to run into Ellie quite yet. Because apparently that's when we left off in the last dev live stream. It was super, super early in the morning. And Alabaster's up. Look at that. Look at that hard working
What a pal,
cat.
yeah.
What a pal. I see some people saying hello in chat. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Frostfall asks, is that a jar of fireflies? Pretty. Yeah, that is a jar of fireflies. That's one of the fun sort of early game lamp objects that you can place in your den as a jar of fireflies. We were trying to find a way to have light sources available for your den that weren't human created objects or whatever. So we went with the jar of fireflies because the fireflies, that's kind of fun. And I know in the first game, a lot of people would end up collecting fireflies that were just flying around the map, and they'd bring those back to their den in the summer, just drop 100 of those all over the place, and then the den was super lit up. And I thought that was fun, so I wanted to pay homage to that. Let's see here. Anything else in chat here? Feel free to drop questions. Dewclaws asks, may I ask what are your thoughts on Jag or on Spark? That's a good question. I love both those characters. I'm a big fan of both those characters, but I'm biased because I also created both those characters. So they're like my
they're all
like
our
my
babies. Yeah.
Can't really pick a favorite, but I really like both those characters.
I think that Spark has some growing up to do. They can be a little bit irresponsible at times, but that's all right. So I tend to like Spark the more later on in the game. The more you play it, Spark does mature some, and so yeah. I don't like early Spark.
It kind of feels like you couldn't have picked 2 more opposite characters really, because Jag is kind of uptight and responsible and all about that. and a little bit standoffish, not the most friendly cat in the world. Whereas Spark is goofy and immature and fun-loving and, irresponsible. Very trusting. As opposed to Jag, who is very not trusting. Which, if you played the first Cattails, you know what I'm talking about. Couldn't even enter the Mountain Domain town without Jag stopping you right at the border.
Yeah, so right now I am just hunting on my way to the battles. So there's a battle in the next map tile. I'm just going to gather some of this food first. I especially want a mouse because Ellie is who I'm going to befriend first. And you can, so close.
Very, very close. There's a little bit of latency too, because you're looking at the stream program as opposed to the window.
But
I think Ellie likes squirrels. I think you'll be okay with this.
I think that they like mice better though, for some reason. I could be wrong.
That could be.
I could be wrong. We made this game, and we don't know.
Look, when there are this many characters, remembering the like lists for any one of them individually is just it's so much to memorize. I personally still rely on like fan-made websites and wikis and stuff because sometimes it's just easier to test that way.
Yeah, if y'all could just make a really good wiki for this game, it would help us out so we don't have to look at the files.
So a little bit of context for what Becca's up to right now. I think there's another Voidmar behind that tree as well.
Well, I don't care about the Voidmar right now. I care about seeing
the
Voidling, yeah.
Every single day, there's going to be a number of daily battles that spawn all around the map. They're going to spawn on the border of the territory that your colony controls. So everything that's shaded in purple right now, those are all controlled by the corruption of the Wildwood, the forces of evil. And you, as you play the game, you're going to be pushing that back. You're going to be purifying those areas, making them, places of light once more, places that aren't quite as dangerous as they were when you first arrived in the Wildwood. So one of the ways you do that is through these daily battles where these squadrons of voidling cats, they spawn throughout the world, right on your border, and they're going to come and try to attack your territory. And meanwhile, your colony is also sending some squads of fighting cats to go out and take on these enemies. So you can go and encounter these random spawning daily battles and participate. And if you participate, you can help your side win, and if you win, you're going to gain a ton of influence in that area. Once you reach 100% influence in any given area that your colony territory borders, you're going to claim that for your colony, and it's going to stay yours until and unless the Wildwood gets back up to 50% influence. In that case, you're going to lose the area, but only temporarily. You can still reclaim it. So you can see right now that the Becca's colony has 5 areas. So those are the areas that aren't shaded in purple. And those bars at the top of the area that goes from that whitish yellow to that dark purple, that's going to tell you what percentage influence you have over that region. So this area that she's hovered over, East Central, she's got 92% influence. And she already controls that area, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And I guess, other thing that happened is I found a curia, which was really exciting.
Oh, you did?
The other thing, which is part of the museum, which I'm not even sure if we have unlocked in the save file yet. We'll have to check. But, yeah, here's my question. So why would I want to take over the map? What is the benefit? So if I own these tiles, why would I do that?
That's a great question. Do you want to answer it, or do you want me to?
You're doing a better job explaining everything. Okay. I'm just over here playing
the game.
You're
busy. You're playing the game.
I'm busy keeping this cat alive.
There's a lot of reasons that you might want to take over the territory around the map. There's not only one reason. Probably the biggest reason that you want to take over territory on the map is that once you take it over, it's a lot safer, and you're going to find more items will spawn there. So if you take over an area, voidling cats, which are the common enemies in the game, those are going to spawn way less, which means it's way safer for you to wander through that area, so that's a big plus. And on top of that, because it's safer, you're going to find more prey there that lives around that area, and you're also going to find more herbs and flowers are going to start growing there, because you've sort of pushed back, the evil corrupting influence for that area. So it sort of heals the land. It makes it more valuable to you and safer for you to wander through. That's the primary reason that you want to take those areas. The other reason you want to take those areas, there's a whole secondary system called stockpiles, and I am jazzed about the stockpile system. I think it's so cool. So your colony has a number of stockpiles. These are abstract representations of resources that you control. It's the wealth of your colony. So one of the stockpiles is your prey stockpile. One of them is your treasure stockpile. One of them is your stone stockpile. You've got 6 of these stockpiles for different resources. So as you claim territory, you can then talk to Talon, who's the cat in charge of your colony squads, and you can send out squads to go and patrol the areas that you control. If you do that, they're going to collect resources from that area, and they're going to bring those back and add them to your stockpiles. So what's super cool about that is that every single area on the map has a different resource it's going to give you, and a different value for the resource if you send a squad to go claim it. So you can see here as Beck is hovering over the map, in the bottom right-hand corner of that menu, you see like the herbs X1 down there in the bottom right. That means that if you send a squad to that region for the day, they will come back with 1 herb stockpile value, and they'll add that to your herb stockpile. Why you want to do this is for 2 reasons. Your stockpiles help you in 2 ways. First off, some stockpiles have a daily burn rate. They, like your prey and your herbs, your cats are actively using those. They're actively eating them and using them to heal up. So if you have enough herbs or prey or treasure in those stockpiles that have a burn rate, you're going to get a daily perk that will activate. These perks could be every cat from your colony has more health for the entire day, or they could be you're going to gain more experience points for the entire day. And then the other one, I think, is you can gain friendship way easier with all the cats of your colony. And I think that's the prey stockpile. So it's like, if your colony is well fed, everybody's happy, and they're way more likely to view you friendly. So that's a super cool perk. The other thing you can do with those stockpiles is you can actually spend them down. So especially the other 3 stockpiles being wood, stone, and sand. You can spend those down, and as you do that, you can activate things called construction projects. Construction projects are one-time purchases, and they're like resource or like research options in RTSs if you played RTSs. So the idea is you'll purchase the construction project one time, and then it will award you a permanent buff for the rest of all time, the rest of the time that you spend playing on that save file. A few of those are like the barracks upgrade, which lets you send out more squads every day, so that's a super important one. There's one that makes it so that you heal up better every time that you sleep. There's one that makes legendary prey, which are things like blue jays, cardinals, starlings, catfish. Those will spawn way more commonly. There's fast travel warps to the far corners of the map. There's all sorts of super cool construction projects. So those are very valuable, very, very worth it to collect those resources. So that's my very long-winded answer about why capturing territory is super important.
Yeah, and I'm thinking through, I have a lot of stuff that I brought back, but I think I'm going to go to the temple first and make sure that I can't turn any items in. Oh, cutscene, hello.
Oh, yeah, because we completed the Dark Ruins on the last dev live
Should I try
stream.
to skip this?
You can't skip this because this is a main
kind of
story
required,
cutscene,
yeah.
so it's required viewing. But it's not a big deal.
It's
just
early on in the story, so it's
very
not
early
too
on.
spoily.
If anybody was here for the first dev live stream, it's not that big a deal because you already saw us walk through the first Dark Ruins. And if you haven't seen that, the video is available on Video on Demand on our YouTube channel. You can go to the videos link and then click on the live tab. And you can find dev live stream number 6. You'll be able to see the context for what's going on here. But basically there was this corrupted building that we entered, and we solved all the puzzles, and we beat up all the bad guys, and we defeated the mini-boss. And now we are bringing back that intel to the Forest Guardian as an update on what's going on around the world.
Yeah, so I donated whatever I could to this so that I could work on unlocking more cats into our colony. And so now I'm going to go look at the stockpiles, and I think our stockpiles might be completely empty. So I'm gonna look at the stockpiles and hopefully donate some things. Also, sorry if you hear our dog in the background.
You can go check.
She actually usually isn't a barker, so I'm not sure what
I think an Amazon package is here.
Oh, Amazon. That's what happened. Yeah, so this is the stockpiles that he was talking about. So you gain the resources. I can donate items directly to this, or by talking to Talon, I can assign a squad over to get those resources every day. So I only have 1 squad right now, and that is getting 2 prey from this west central spot. And so that's going to, once it's like midnight, I'll get those. but I'm probably going to go ahead and donate some stuff now.
Yeah, so you can see the stockpiles there. Those were all 6 of the stockpiles. This is a great way early on to increase the value of your stockpiles when you don't have enough squads to sort of keep them going just naturally. You can take items from your personal inventory and donate them towards the value of those stockpiles. Definitely recommend doing that for probably the herbs and the prey stockpile at a minimum early on. If you have some extra items laying around, it's a good idea.
I think I'm gonna keep everything else. I was looking for Ellie.
Oh, there's Ellie. I just saw on the mini-map. Yep. So that's good. You kept that mouse or squirrel or whatever we were gonna give to Ellie?
Yeah, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff by their den and then save it for later.
I think most birds as well are loved items for Ellie.
Okay, let's try giving Ellie a sparrow then.
Yeah,
nice.
that's a good one. Perfect.
Okay, we'll leave some of these here too.
That's a good idea. And you can leave your items around town. They're perfectly
it's
safe
pretty messy.
because Jag will make sure that nobody steals them. There's a question, we get this one a lot, but I always think it's a fun question, which is just, what are our favorite cats in the game?
Charlotte!
Becca really likes Charlotte. In terms of new cats, new characters that were added to the cast for Cattails Wildwood Story, I'm very fond of how Talon came together, just because there's not a lot of cats with the same personality as Talon. Just a grumpy old cat, but really kind of a sweetheart once you get to know Talon very, very well. Also, I do like Spark. I'm a big fan of Spark in terms of the new cats, for sure. But you know, every cat. I like all the cats.
I like them all for different reasons is the problem. When you go to the museum, oh, I love Glimmer.
Oh,
Glimmer might be one of my favorites too. Ooh,
hey,
we haven't
Glimmer.
talked to them yet. We haven't been in here yet.
Yeah. Did you explain the unidentified curio?
I have not explained anything in the museum. There's so much to this game. It's a lot.
This is a whole another side thing you can do. I mean, there's achievements associated with this and rewards. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this. So you could get really invested in this whole museum thing if you wanted. But
which I do want.
So hey, there's Ellie.
Yes.
Every now and then, you'll find an unidentified curio, that's a hard word to say, and you can bring it to the museum and identify it in the museum. Now, when you identify it, you're going to get an item back that's some sort of weird human-made artifact that the cats don't really know what to do with. They don't really know what it is. But Glimmer has sort of studied this stuff, and Glimmer is willing to tell you all about it, what its purpose was. And also Glimmer is almost always comically wrong, which is fun. Mm-hmm. But Glimmer, because Glimmer is such an aficionado for these human items, Glimmer has opened this museum, which has a whole gallery in the back where you can donate these curios, and then you can go view all the curios you've donated in the gallery. So if you can find and collect all 30 of these, there's quite a few really cool rewards that you can get for ending up doing that.
So I have an unidentified curio. I went up to the table to identify it, and let's see what we get.
Let's see what you got. Oh, you got the flexible curio.
Okay.
That one I think is like a hair scrunchie.
A scrunchie, yeah.
We had a really fun time coming up with these. We had a spreadsheet with 30 slots, and we're like, okay, what 30 funny little human items would cats hoard, you know? Because we've got 2 cats ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we're thinking like, okay, like when we moved, we moved the couch, and all of a sudden underneath the couch, there's like 100 random shiny items down there. That's the kind of stuff we're going for. We're like, whatever a house cat would collect and hide from you, that's the kind of stuff that we want donated to the museum.
All right, let's see what Glimmer thinks about this flexible curio. I can say with utmost confidence that I know exactly what this is. A versatile piece of equipment. The hole in the center and the stretchy material allowed a human to wield it around an arm, a leg, or even around the neck as a tight sort of necklace. How did they ever resist the urge to play with it and bat it around? So there you have it. I will add your donation to the gallery right away. The museum thanks you for your patronage.
Nice, nice. So this is very much so inspired by Animal Crossing. I think we wanted almost that sort of like Blathers-like character who you're donating to, and they give you the whole explanation on all that. But we decided on a twist for Glimmer's whole personality, because Glimmer is really out there, and if you know anything about Glimmer, you know that Glimmer's a fun cat to be around. There's a question from Silent Shroomish who asks, how do kittens work with Glimmer? Do they come out all fluffy hairless, or do they come out fluffy and pink? That's a good question. So one of the really, really neat things about Wildwood Story is that there's multiple body types for your cat. So your cat can be like the slender body type, or the short hair, or the fluffy, or the large body type. And, you know, that applies to the ears and the tail and all sorts of things. So something that's cool is that your kittens actually inherit those genetic traits from the parents as well. So you can see how like Glimmer has that sort of slender body type, and you can see the wrinkles in their hairless skin and all that. Your kittens can inherit that as well, and so their sprite on the overworld you're going to see is going to look somewhat like Glimmer, and then the other half is going to come from you as well. So, you know, it's going to vary by the specific kitten, because there's millions of different possible combinations that your kittens can come out as. But some of your kittens, especially if they end up inheriting more from Glimmer, you're going to see that resemblance for sure. And definitely pink as well, or that sort of hairless, sort of tan flesh tone pink.
Flesh, yeah.
It's not quite pink, but there's definitely a bit of a red tone in it.
Ooh, there's something I haven't gotten yet up here, but which I just think is pretty cool that you can marry like every adult cat in the game.
Yeah. That's
so,
another
like,
new feature as well that we're super, super proud of. That means there's over 20 different romance paths for this game, which I think is going to give a lot of replayability to the game, especially with, you know, the new Game Plus mechanics and all that. Because every time you play the game, you could pick a different partner, and it would take you, assuming you did the main story every time, I mean, that would be a long, long time to actually experience all of that. Like, I don't know a lot of games with 20 plus romance options. That seems like something.
Do you just think about all of like the dialogue that we've written and all the stuff that there's probably some things out there. I'm confident actually there's some things out there that nobody has seen yet, and that's really wild to think about.
It is.
Like a lot of
absolutely is.
There's just like work and stuff out there waiting to be discovered.
There's a ton of so much dialogue was written for this game, but a lot of it is, you know, it's very situational. It's like, oh, you have to be dating this character, and you have to be friends with this character, and then you have to go talk to this third character, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to make the world feel a little bit more lifelike, make the cats feel more like a real community. And we hope that will be able to sort of surprise players sometimes. I think especially with these games where it's like, oh, go talk to the cat, you know, once a day, and they end up saying the same thing every day. It ends up feeling very formulaic, and after a while you know what to expect, and so there's no new dialogue, no new surprises. But we really want to catch the player off guard every now and then. There's a question, how is Champ to write?
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna say
I
something.
wrote Champ, but go ahead.
I helped with Champ in the cutscenes, but Tyler did mostly. I feel like, you know, we both grew up going to, public schools at times, and we've all experienced different personalities and different types of people. And so, yeah. What's that? This is like an old Disney Channel movie. Read it and weep.
Read it and weep. Oh, the one where the girl writes like a diary or whatever. She writes like this fantasy book diary, and then the whole plot of it is that people figure out, like, wait, this whole thing is about us. Actually, I think, isn't that a Riverdale thing too? You mean this whole play is about us or something? That's
like a common trope. Yeah, one of these days, everybody we know is gonna realize.
Be like, oh my goodness, that cat is me.
We know Champ.
Yeah, but that's probably true for most cats. I think usually when I'm writing a cat, I'm thinking I'm channeling a different person that I've met at some point in my life. It's just easier that way. You can get in the headspace better for it.
Even more so, a lot of these cats is weird. So we've been married for like 7 years. We've been married a long time.
Yeah,
we got married
7 years
young.
Now. Over 7 years.
Yeah, we got married very young, and we have been married for 7 years. And it's funny because a lot of times when I read the dialogue, I'm like, yep, that's Tyler. Like that is, or it's like different versions of Tyler. Or I remember one day going up to Tyler and be like, wait a second, Charlotte is me. Charlotte is me when I'm in a very bad mood. Yeah. When I'm grumpy and when I'm done with people. I just like had this moment of like, oh no, I've said these things to Tyler when I was, this is me angry.
Yeah,
and then there's other
you
cats
see it come out in the
that
game.
are me for other reasons. And there's other cats that are like Tyler when Tyler's feeling really gossipy, then Tyler has a little bit of Rosemary energy. Or, you know, like, yeah, and so it's kind of weird. That's something, yeah. I feel like everybody has that with like their OCs and like with their, with any creative project, you get your inspiration from something. And it's usually different personalities of yourself or your friends or family. So yeah.
There's a question, is there a cat that resembles you guys? And you kind of answered that for you, because I think Charlotte's probably the closest, but there's a little bit of you sprinkled throughout the other cats as well. And that's absolutely true for me as well, because I wrote a lot of the cats, so a lot of it, you know, it ends up being my voice, and it ends up sounding like things that I would say. I think out of all of the cats, the cat that probably is the most like me...
I have an opinion,
is
but...
Ember. And part of it is because Ember has... There's an arc to Ember, right? Ember start, you know, throughout the games, throughout the several games.
Ember is a parent.
Yeah, and I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent. But I think I did channel a little bit of the idea of sort of coming of age and maturing and becoming an adult and all that. Because Ember starts very goofy. If you go back, you look at early Ember and how Ember used to speak and all that. Even in
throughout the games.
Throughout the games, plural. Yeah. Ember starts sort of goofy and childish and all this stuff. And then Ember comes into their own and becomes an adult and all that. Definitely there's a hint of me in Ember.
It's raining. So my answer for you, who I think that you are the most, is actually, and we've never talked about this, I think Coco.
Coco, okay.
Very...
little formal.
Community driven, wants to do what is right, wants to protect others. When you have like a task or a job, you take that task seriously, but you check in with everybody else as well, and you strive for community peace, and and like is a natural leader role, which I would say that, you know, like, yeah, your player's the leader of the colony, but we all know that Coco's the one getting stuff done.
Coco is if you know, going back to the inspirations for this game, if Animal Crossing was a big inspiration for this game, Coco is essentially Isabelle, right? Like very, very similar. But I don't disagree with that. I think there's a lot of Coco in me. There's a silly question in chat that I did want to get around to from Twizzler, who says, random silly question, but would Jag or Champ win in a fight? And then you've got the two eyes emoji.
I have an opinion. What's your opinion?
I also have an opinion. I think it would be close. I do think Jag would win.
I think Jag would win too.
That's my personal opinion.
I think
that's not canon. Don't go put that on the wiki.
I think we need to make it canon.
Don't put that on the wiki.
I think it needs to be on the wiki that in a 1v1 Jag would beat Champ. I think that needs to be official, because I think that Champ is all bark and no bite.
See, but the thing is, actually, I think the hypothetical, the theoretical question, it wouldn't ever happen.
It wouldn't.
Jag would not. Fight Jag would just for fun.
Jag would leave the situation and diffuse it.
Yeah. Jag wouldn't fight for fun. Jag would only fight in sort of a life or death situation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting question, though. I like that. Oh man, there's a lot. The chat is flying right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Champ fans. Champ's great too. It would be close.
Well, Champ is actually one of my go-to cats that I befriend on all my personal playthroughs, because they do become very strong as you level them up. They are a very good buddy to have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So people are bringing up the buddy system which is something you might want to touch on in the stream if we get around to it.
I'm hoping to become friends with Ellie, and so we can do that.
So people are saying that if you go by the buddy system traits, Champ has the powerhouse
Champ is fantastic.
combat combo of traits, which is true.
Yeah.
So there is that. That's absolutely true.
That's true.
If you there's a funny image, which if you're in chat and I mention this and this is yours, please jump in there because I don't want to steal your thunder or whatever. Somebody posted an artwork piece to the Steam community forum where it's just like Jag in the mines and he's like fighting a dark candle with a metal folding chair, and it's like lifted over Champ's head, and it's the funniest image. I love that artwork. I think awesome. I showed that to you. Because it's true, right? Because if you're looking to fight people, Champ is probably your best bet. So one-on-one fights.
I just unlocked a cat, and so people know I put them in the far back corner, not because I don't like them. I actually like them a lot.
Is it Buttercup?
No, it was Bob, and I feel like Bob, I put them by the water. I know that they like fishing. I feel like they would enjoy having a little bit more peace and quiet away. So I actually really like them. It's not, it wasn't oh, I don't like this cat, let me shove them in the corner situation. Let's see. I really just go through and I donate everything.
That's Champ in the upper right there.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hello.
You know. It is what it is.
It's like people already know. Yeah.
Honestly though, I want to take it back. We were talking about favorite cats. Bob is super high up there. Bob has to make the list. Bob is fantastic. Best neighbor award, I think, might have to go to Bob. Just such a sweetheart.
I love Rosemary.
Rosemary?
Yeah.
Rosemary is one of the very late unlocks, so we probably won't see Rosemary this dev live stream. But yeah, Rosemary's fun. Definitely had a good time writing for Rosemary, especially the events. There's some events that feature Rosemary that are just hilarious, and that was so much fun. Oh my goodness! You got a task to get lavender.
Did you see that? Yeah, I got a task to get lavender, and then Glimmer just sent me lavender.
No, I want to point this out too. The reason that Glimmer sent you that lavender is because you donated that curio to the museum. So that was your reward for doing that. So it's like, okay, so completing the museum, I mean, that's not just for achievements or whatever. You're actually going to get rewarded for that. There's
it's almost
really cool
like all of these systems work together. Almost like we planned.
It's almost like
that. Almost like we
through.
did some game design here. Zephyr's a lot.
Oh yeah,
Zephyr's a lot. I don't want to have.
Dog says,
what are your thoughts on Zephyr? Favorite. I don't want to have a least favorite.
I like Zephyr
because I love all of them.
Are you saying you don't like Zephyr?
Wow. Zephyr drains my energy.
Zephyr has a very, very larger than life personality, and I think you can't have two of those people in the same room, right? So
that's why I can't stand. That's funny.
Yeah. There it is. There's the question we always get, which is, do you think you'd make more plushies of the different cats?
I would love to.
Yeah, that's something that's always on the back of our
Buy
minds.
our game so we can make plushies. That's all we actually want.
I will say it's a lot. So there's different ways you can do this, and different devs do this differently. I will say when we made the Crampy plush, we had never really worked with physical merchandise before. But we decided that we wanted a pretty good view of what it was like from the start to finish, top to bottom. I really wanted, to get my hands dirty and see what plushie creation and fulfillment was like. So we didn't actually, build the plushes. A company did that for us. But we had the plushies shipped to our house. So that was like we came home one day and there were these giant pallets, literally pallets. I mean, like 6 boxes high. And every box had 50 plushies in it, if you can imagine how large a box that is and how heavy a box that is.
I don't know if you could really even explain what it was like.
Oh my god. So my office was nothing but plushies and boxes.
It was like you couldn't walk through. And it wasn't even like that many. It was just like, well, no, it was a ton.
It was several hundred plushies. It was about 600 plushies.
But no, that doesn't even explain how much time.
Well, so this is the other part of it, right? So they ship us the plushes, right? But now they're just sitting in my office. So then we decided to do the fulfillment ourselves as well, which we wouldn't have to do, but that is what we did.
Yeah, this is all for Kickstarter. That happened about how long ago was this? About a year ago.
That was it was last summer that we ended up shipping those out. So Then you have to take all of the plushes, all 600 of the plushes in the giant bulk boxes, and you have to individually package them and wrap them and all that into tiny little boxes, which we received flat because those came to our house as
I
well.
would say something about both of us is we're both perfectionists. And for everything that we work on, everything that we do, we want to make sure that it's really good. So that means like we had 300, we had more than that, I think, plushies shipped to our house.
About 600 were shipped.
And then
here.
we would just spend hours going through and looking at every single one. Like ears, good. Nose, good. Or mask, because it was crampy.
Yeah.
Tail, good. Like checking for like all of that, which we know that the businesses do, but like we just can't help it. Like
it's quality assurance.
We have to make sure.
There was, and you can probably find this on Reddit. I think it's still out there. There was one plush, maybe two plushes that we shipped out. We didn't catch it. The plush had, this was funny. So Crampy has these, like side fluffs on the side of Crampy's face, and on the plush, these are like flaps. There's like flannel like flaps on the side of the face to represent the fur. For some reason, the ear and the flap pieces had gotten switched. So there was two Crampies that shipped out, and they had like 3 ears. It was so funny. And we ended up, we made it right. We shipped them a fixed plush, so everything was fine there. We paid for the shipping on that. The backer was fine with that as far as I'm aware. But it was really funny when I saw the photo, and I was like, oh my goodness, we spent so much time
going through, and there's still
going through these individually, checking them all over, shipping them ourselves, and we just, those two slipped through the cracks. Thoughts on Alabaster? That's a good change of topic.
I think that Alabaster is also you.
Alabaster has a lot of my personal life philosophy embedded into their dialogue. I don't think I'm quite, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm quite as wordy as Alabaster. I intentionally made Alabaster an extremely wordy cat. Becca's shaking her head. So that's probably not a great sign. I can. On certain days I'm Alabaster, that's true.
Yeah, no, I would say that normally not. Normally you're not.
I also I was channeling like Gandalf for Alabaster. I was trying to do like this wise cat, but also that one's fraught because I know you don't really like Gandalf. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Kind, friendly, old gardener neighbor. That is accurate. Yeah, so getting back to the plush fulfillment story, we had 600 plushes. We had 600
that's many, yeah.
Flat packed boxes. So I took flat packed boxes, I folded them up into full size boxes. I taped over, 3 sides, leaving the top open. Then I would take it was a bundle. It wasn't just the plushies. So I take a CD, I take a sticker, I'd put those in a foam mailer, I'd check a plush.
You skipped a step. You skipped a step.
Oh, there was the business card.
600 little cards that had the logo that I wrote on there. Thank you so much.
We hand signed these.
You did like 100 of them.
I did a few.
And I signed your name on all of them. That's what couples do.
That's true.
They sign each other's name on everything.
So that took forever, and then we put that in the foam mailer as well, and then you put the plush on top, and then you'd seal the box, and then you tape the box, and then I would drive them to our local post office, which is like 4 miles away. So you can imagine doing that, just like the plushes, right? The plushes are 13 inches tall, and so I could only fit a certain amount of these in my car, right? At one point, we had the USPS guy come to our house to like pick up the boxes, and I had this cube of boxes. It looked like the Borg cube from Star Trek. It was like in our foyer, and it was probably 10 by 10 by 10 boxes or something. It was absurd.
Yeah.
And this poor guy, I helped him load it up into his mail truck. But that was our life for several months. Was like plush fulfillment.
But I'm okay with that being my life again because I like plushies.
No, you see, you're giving them hope.
I would like to have hope.
Maybe at some point in the future. I do think it'd be cool. I would love to get another plush out there. It's just
it's a lot of work. That's
what
that's what we're getting at. It's a lot of work, but to me, it's worth it.
It was, yeah. Because now I've got a plush Crampy sitting on my office shelf. And I look at that little plush, and it makes me smile every time. So how's your Babbles going? How's your world map looking?
Very well.
Realize I hadn't seen it in a little while.
Yeah, so the map.
Oh yeah, you claimed the tile down
I
there.
claimed this tile, and you know, it only gets me prey, so it's not.
But it's 2. You get 2 prey for that.
Yeah,
one.
I already had one that
That's
does
true.
that, but it's all right. I really need to get ones that give me like the lumber, the wood, wood and stone. The other funny thing is I have not gone into the mines at all, but there's so much to do.
That's true. That's true.
What I'm really kind of focusing on more so than what I thought I would is I'm just going around and just collecting items because there's still so many cats to unlock. And so I figure if I keep exploring, I need to eat something.
You do, yeah. A little bit beat up as well.
That will help. If I have more than 3 hearts, I call it good.
If it's not blinking with the white peril blink,
because
you're probably fine.
If I sleep, then I will restore some health. And then also, I feel like Crampy doesn't charge that much. To where it's usually just worth it for me to go talk to Crampy or go to sleep.
So there is a question that I think is very fun. I want your opinion on it. Which character in the game would be most likely to hoard plushies in their den?
Glimmer!
Glimmer? Oh, that's good. That's really good. I had another answer as well, although maybe it's not true, now that I think about it more. I was going to say Phantom, and I was going to say Phantom because I envisioned Phantom as like a prepper almost. So if you go into Phantom's den, which is very minimal, you will find a storage room that has just like overflowing with prey and herbs and all the things that Phantom would need to sort of survive. So Phantom, a little bit of a hoarder in that cat, I think. But the reason that I'm saying I don't know about that...
I don't think that they would hoard...
Yeah. Plushes don't have utility, right?
Yeah.
They don't have functional value, and I think Phantom is all about that. So probably not Phantom. I like Glimmer. Glimmer's probably true. Probably the most likely. Maybe, Spark would have 1 or 2. I don't think Spark would have 100. But also, that's my reality right now, because I have a closet in my house that has like 50 plushies in it. So I
wasn't going to tell them that. I wasn't going to tell them because then they'll have hope that we'll let go of
they're not. Those are not
for
available.
those are for backup if people like report for the Kickstarter.
Right.
That they need it.
You know, sometimes mail gets lost or damaged along the way, so we wanted to have a small reserve just in case things go awry. Wow, you are catching a lot of prey.
I'm really just like focused in right now. Is the thing. Like I'm just.
Windstorm says, would Spark hoard bug plushes?
Yes.
I don't think so. Spark would just hoard bugs. Right? Like Spark
Spark would love a...
Spark would leave food out on the floor so that ants would come in, and then Spark would keep all the ants in an ant farm or something.
Poor Ember.
You know? Poor Ember. That's right. That's absolutely true. Spring Blossom says, do you think you can talk about the kittens? Yeah, we can, for sure.
That's the thing, like I might, for the next dev live stream, I might play on this save file some in between.
Ooh, that's a starling. That is a legendary bird.
Edge.
Oh my goodness. Sweaty palms, sweaty palms.
Stop, you're making it worse. Oh my gosh.
You got this. You got this.
Oh, that was
it's a perfect pounce too.
Oh
my goodness.
So close.
You got the achievement for it and everything. That's one of the new legendary birds. So there's blue jays and cardinals, which were also in Cattails, and now there's starlings as well, which are these beautiful dark purple birds with like a starry pattern on the chest. Starlings are extremely valuable birds, so catching that was a big win for tonight. Except
the issue is, like, yeah, it's valuable, and yes, I could really use the muse, but I hoard everything.
Becca is the cat that would hoard the plushies.
I'm the cat that would hoard the plushie.
So getting back to the kittens, I don't want to miss out on that. We can talk about that. I know in past dev live streams people have brought up kittens and we've said we can't talk about it, not ready to talk about it yet. Now we are, because kittens are in the game, fully functional. Super happy with how that came out. So if you've played Cattails 1, you'll be somewhat familiar with how kittens work. So you get married to a cat of your choice. And then eventually, as you get to know them and you rank up their marriage friendship meter as well, eventually they'll ask you if you want to have kittens. You have the option. You can say like, no, I don't, or maybe someday, or like, yes, I definitely want to have kittens. And when you eventually tell them, like, yeah, I do want to have kittens, then a couple of, days later, about a season later, you're going to see your kittens come along one day in the middle of the night, and your spouse will wake you up, and you'll clean up the kittens and get to look at your kittens together, which is a really fun moment. The cool thing about the kittens in this game is that they can inherit all of your color patterns, and this is a big deal, especially because in this game you can design your own color pattern, right? So like the coat studio in this game is super, super hardcore. You can go in and modify. There's like 30 different things you can change the color of, including each of your eyes, all of your paws, your stripes, your splotches, your rosettes, like all sorts of stuff. You can change the color to any color you can imagine. So your kittens can inherit any and all of those patterns, and they'll mix it with your spouse's color patterns, and also your spouse and your body type as well. Because if you're a fluffy cat, your kittens might turn out fluffy, yada, yada, yada. Your kittens can inherit all of that, and we also seriously expanded the number of combinations that are possible in this game. In the first game, we had 12 like predefined pattern mixes that they could be. So like one of those was completely you, one of those was completely your spouse, one of them was like halfway between every point, whatever. This game, there's, for all intents and purposes, it's like practically limitless. There are millions of different possible combinations between any two possible colors, right? Which is your color, whatever you picked, whatever you created, and whatever cat you picked as well, which again, there's over 20 cats you can partner up with. So your kittens could, they're gonna be almost definitely unique to almost any playthrough of almost any player, which is super fun. Another couple of really, really big upgrades in this game. Your kittens have portraits, and the portraits are dynamically colored based on what pattern they end up with.
They're so cute.
They're extremely cute. They have more dialogue in this game, I think. That's fair to say, than in the previous game. They can buddy up with you, similar to in the first game, but this time your kittens have special character traits. They have personality traits that will change how they interact with the world as you're adventuring together, and the special benefits they can provide to you. And one of my favorite features is for your kittens specifically. This is not for any other cat, just your kittens. You can retrain them, so you have the option to change out their traits for any other combination of traits that you can think of. So if they're, you really want to go mining or whatever, you can teach your kitten to be really good at mining. You can train their traits that way, and then you can take them with you and reap the benefit of that. So I think that's super cool. The other amazing thing about kittens that you can't do in the first game is we have a new feature. This was a Kickstarter stretch goal. It's called New Game Plus. And once your kittens reach buddy level 10, which means you fully trained them, they're as capable as they're going to be, you can go and start a new save file as your kitten, which is super cool because then you'll start over with your kitten, with whatever colors they are, whatever accessories they have equipped, all that stuff. You'll start with some skills based on what your kitten was good at on your previous save file. And you'll also start with some items that's going to be based on the personality of your kitten, and experience points and money based on how much you accomplished in your previous save file. So the more that you do, the more things that you unlock, the more days that you play, all of that stuff, the higher your starting rewards will be for your New Game Plus playthrough. I think that's super fun, and the really, really neat thing about that feature is you can start like a generational chain if you wanted, because your kitten could end up partnering up with a cat, having kittens of their own. You could play as, now it would be your grandkid. You could start a new file as that. And you could just keep going down the chain if you really wanted to. You could just keep playing generations of cats.
Yeah.
So, anyways, if you can't tell, we're super excited about the new kitten system. I
know. I'm really thinking cool. That next step live stream, I should work on the save file some and then have us be in a more later game area, just so that we can show you, like, maybe the kittens. Like, maybe we end up on this one marrying Ellie, and then we can show some of the kitten stuff, show some of the buddies, maybe even some of the later mines, because I haven't even touched the mines yet on this. And there are 3 mines that you can
and they're different
explore
too.
And
they're unique. They have different enemies, different floor types. I mean, these new mines, there's a ton of content there. There's a Flannel said, after your kittens are born, the coat colors are automatically added to Coat Studio. Yeah, that's super important too, because the new Coat Studio that's like super in depth and all that, you'll automatically get the patterns for your kittens if you want to use those colors. And the other fun thing about that is that every color that gets added to your Coat Studio, your computer generates a little image file that gets saved to a folder next to your save files. If you take that image file and you send it to a friend or you post it online or whatever, and somebody downloads that, they can add that to that same folder location on their computer, and then they can use your kitten color for their own cats, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, or just design from scratch. If you want to design like a different color or like a specific type of cat or something like that, and then want to post it online, share it with people.
I've seen some extremely creative players who have already been doing that. Definitely some really good ones in there. I end up downloading like all of them, so I have like 50 colors saved to that folder. Just because, you know, people are really, really creative, and some people have come up with some really beautiful coat colors.
Is the demo available right now?
The demo is not available
That's
right
what I was
now.
thinking.
No, that ended up getting taken down a week or two ago, I think.
So
Not currently available. But the good news is the full game is coming out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe we should mention.
We should probably mention that.
Maybe this is important.
Less than 3 weeks. 20 days. The full game is coming out. I can't believe we haven't mentioned
Did we make it this far without mentioning
we
that
got
the game
50
comes
minutes
out?
in without mentioning the game.
That's the most important part.
The most important thing. If you remember nothing else, remember that the game is going to be out on Steam on October 20th. We are so excited about that. Cannot wait for people to be able to try it out. There's a question from Elfron7.
I threw the acorns the wrong way.
Ooh.
Oh, and now the hearts are
You're out
flashing. Oh, we might need to run
keep an eye on
away.
that. Do you have Golden Seal?
Nope.
You do. Yeah, you've got 3 of it.
Oh yeah, I do. But you want me to use an item? You think that these items have special effects and things
like
that
those
would
are
help
video
my
games,
battle
yeah.
and like would actually be really like great for me to use?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I have to hoard them.
Right. You play however you want.
That's the thing about these type of games. Like everybody has a different play style and they are all valid.
Some are more valid than others. So there's a question here from Eltron7. If you become your kitten, so New Game Plus, will you still have your progress from your other save, or is it basically a new save with a cat that looks like your kitten? It's both, right? So you will keep some elements of your progress. You're going to keep any power paws you found. You're going to keep any cats you've unlocked. You're going to keep your town layout. You're going to keep your den layout. You're going to keep the appearance of your kitten as well. And you're also going to start with several experience points and mews to help you on your way, which mews are like the currency of the game. In other ways, it's more like starting a new save file with a cat that looks like your kitten. So it's going to reset your progress on most other features, such as the influence system, such as the mines, such as the main story. And the idea there is that we really want you to be able to experience those things fresh and not be locked out of those features. Because some of those things, it's like once you do it once, especially the main story, once you do it once, you can't do it again. So starting a new save file is a great way to be able to re-experience that content. Let's see here. Yeah, the boarded up caves. There's some chat about that. You probably noticed that. So there's the first cave that you can get to just from the start of the game. You can start mining. If you make it all the way to the bottom of the first cave, which is level 100, so it takes quite a while to get down there, there's a key. And if you find that key is going to unlock one of the boarded up caves. So when you go up to the surface, a little cutscene will play, and you'll find out that the second cave is now open for business. You can go in there, you can check it out. Now, the second cave is a lot harder than the first, so be careful if you're going in there. Make sure that you're well healed, make sure that you bring items and food and all of that, because there's new enemies, there's new floor types, the generation algorithm for all the floors is different. So it's gonna feel new, it's gonna feel like a new mine experience for you. But in other ways it's similar. There's another 100 levels for you to descend. And if you make it to the bottom of Mine 2, which is a difficult challenge, you're going to find a key that unlocks the third cave. And you'll find that the boards for that third cave are now lifted. A little cutscene will play out. There's new rewards as well for the new caves, which is kind of fun. Some of the moles that work outside of those caves, they're going to open up shops as you continue this. Those shops have some super cool items, like you can get dynamite that's going to help you with mining. There's these orbs that you can craft that will like point to the nearest staircase. Like some really neat stuff. There's new pets, new accessories, all that stuff. Completing the third mine, by the way, is no joke. That's a very, very difficult challenge that takes a long time. But for the players who do end up doing that, there's great rewards at the bottom of that. There's new minerals to find. It's definitely worth it, but that takes some time.
And things to craft. There's a whole crafting.
Right. There's a whole
bench.
crafting situation. There's an anvil in the cave as well, run by one of the moles, and you can
Kitty
craft some really powerful
Dynamite!
items.
Yes!
Kitty Dynamite. That is absolutely
They
true.
get it.
Which is fun because you can go into the mines and you can blow up like 100 rocks at the same time and also damage enemies with that. So that's kind of cool. We got 5 minutes here. So what's your final objective here?
That is a great question. Really great question. Honestly, I didn't really get most of my goals that I had. I was only able to get one map tile. But we were able to unlock Bob, which was really good. I really want this map tile because then we can get some wood, which will help get us some resources in order to unlock more squads with Talon. And then I want to become friends with Ellie, but you know, friendship takes some time. So we haven't. Ooh, it's so foggy. So I think that maybe for the last 5 minutes, I will go take care of my garden. I try to do that every day.
Yeah.
I'll take care of my garden, then I'll go, one more. Boop. And then I will go fight that battle, and then be good.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get through a couple more questions here before we end the stream. Let's see here. So Queen Woomy asks about a bug and how you can report a bug. Thank you. That would be very helpful. Probably the best way you can do that if you have a screenshot of that bug or a description of the bug, which by the way, the more detail the better. You can email that to us. It's cattailsgame@gmail.com. Very simple, no special characters, nothing tricky. Just cattailsgame@gmail.com. If you send that email, I will for sure see that. I'll be able to respond to it there, and we can try to figure that out. I would appreciate that, by the way, because we're trying to get the game, you know, as perfect and bug-free as possible before launch. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yes. Okay. So now I finally got this map tile that I really wanted.
Any cats you recommend bringing into the caves? Asked Windstorm. I think Glimmer and Jag are probably the top tier mining cats.
I always bring Glimmer with me.
I think Jag is also really good because of that persistence trait. But yeah, Glimmer is a good one as well. And I see you saying that you've brought Glimmer, but Glimmer keeps dying. So if you rank up your buddy as well, so maybe before you go mining, you can rank up your buddy. There's a lot of ways to do that. The easiest is just go hunting or fight in battles. Once your buddy ranks up, they're going to get a lot more health, and that's going to help them stay alive a lot longer.
The other thing that I would highly recommend bringing with you is the active skill. If you're bringing along a buddy, Sweet Melody, which I don't have unlocked on this file yet.
Good
because
tip.
because I don't have buddies yet. This does help heal the cats that are in the ones that spawn that help in my battles and stuff. So like it still would be helpful now, but it'll be even more helpful once I have a buddy with me because this will help heal them.
Yeah.
So Sweet Melody is an active skill that I almost always try to get maxed out. It's very helpful with
that's super powerful. You can keep a buddy alive pretty much indefinitely if you play it smart and you have a very high ranked Sweet Melody.
The other active skill that since it's toward the end of the stream, I'm gonna give the real ones some tips. Another one that I think is very underrated, and I'll just leave it at that, is Kindly Purr. So and 9 Lives. Mysterious. Those are two that I feel like when I'm watching, because we watch a lot of like even if you have if you have 2 viewers, they're probably us. We watch because we learn a lot by watching people play the game. I don't see people take those as much as I thought I would. So
yeah. There's a question here about will the Switch release be on the current Switch or next gen Switch? So nothing has been announced as far as I'm aware in terms of a console after Switch. But regardless of what Nintendo does, we are going to release Cattails Wildwood Story on the current generation of Switch. You know, if you have a Nintendo Switch today, you will be able to play Wildwood Story on Switch when it launches. That's the plan. Another tip for if you're bringing a buddy into the mines and you're having trouble, you can actually gift your buddy Golden Seal and Marigold and some other healing items, and they'll use it instantly if they need to. So if they're hurting at all, give them some Golden Seal. They'll use it. They'll heal up. It's sort of a hidden feature, but that can help you keep them alive. All right, so we are just about at 6 p.m. here, our time, which means we've been going for roughly an hour. So we're gonna wrap things up. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do one more of these dev live streams prior to the launch, so stay tuned for an announcement about that. But in the meantime, go and check out the game on Steam and hit the wishlist and follow button if you haven't already.
That helps us out a ton. I know
helps
it
a ton.
sounds like, oh, go like and subscribe or whatever, but honestly, it really does help us if you wishlist us on Steam.
No, it really does. So that's the most important thing, and that's going to help you too, because if you hit wishlist, you hit follow, then as soon as the game is out on Steam, which is going to be on October 20th, less than 3 weeks to go, you're going to get an email about it, you're going to get notifications from Steam. It's going to make sure that you know that the game is available immediately, and you can go check it out and play it. So that's super helpful for you, that's super helpful for us. There's links to that in the description of the live stream down below, so go check that out. Until next time, I guess we'll call it there.
I just want to play more of this game. Yeah.
Thanks for joining, everybody. We can't wait for October 20th, because October is tomorrow, so that's coming up pretty quick.
Very exciting. I don't know who else is so excited for tomorrow, first day of October.
We are so excited about it. Can't wait for you guys to all be able to play it yourselves. And we're going to sign off, so have a good one, everybody. We'll let you know when the next live stream is going to be.
Bye.
Bye.